Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going through a bunch of my old pictures. Some of them look really weird, but going through old pictures, criticizing them, point out what's wrong, and then I will also go through how you could change it and make it a little better. So the first thing we're going to be going through is people. So people can be a very challenging thing to draw because of the proportions. You need to get the head right, the arms and hands right, and the feet right. Those are the main hard points to do. So we have this boxer. So the big point with him is, you could probably see like right away, is his head. His head is huge. So you have his head, his nose. The head should really be going up around here. You realize how it's almost a cutoff right here. That does not work. And the next big thing is his torso. His torso should be a lot longer. And a good way to measure those two together to make it the right way is your head. The head should be able to fit about 1.5 to 2 heads inside the torso. And as you can see in this one, you go from this head right here, you fit about 1 in his torso, which means his torso's too short and the head's definitely too big. And think about it, the head isn't even the full head, so that's ridiculous. Okay, the next part. Next part is this. The feet. Look how big the feet is right here. And if you put this right up to, let's see, about here, the feet is basically as long as his shins. That does not work. Your feet are not as long as your shins. You could measure it. It doesn't work. So that should be, the shin should be longer. The next point is the arms. The arms are too short, which normally, if the torso was the right length and you measured it from, let's say you dragged it down here, that would be about the right length. It should be between probably around upper thigh to mid thigh. That's how long your arms normally are. But since the torso is too short, that means the arms are too short as well. There are some good ways to measure feet with your arms and head in proportion to that. So another picture that's good is this one. So this picture, you have just a guy standing there. He looks pretty normal, right? I mean, you can't have there's nothing big jumping out at you. That's wrong. So part of the actual thing that is wrong with him is his feet. His feet are too small. Part of how you can measure that is you go here. You put right here your feet and you drag it up to about here. They only go to maybe 3/4 of his forearm, which is wrong. If you measure your foot to your forearm, it is about that long. That's how long your foot is. So right here, my forearm is all right here. That's how long my foot is. So that is wrong. It should be measured right to that. So the next, let's see here. The next thing, this guy is a little wonky. He has some problems. So you have this Viking problems. He looks very stocky, which that's not wrong because, well, you have plenty of very stocky guys. But the big thing wrong with him, there actually are a lot of them. 1, he has practically no neck, which you go, okay, there are some people that don't have much of a neck. But with his shoulders, they're too cut off, so it's not normal at all to be looking like that. Next, his torso's too short, and his arms are very, very short. They're basically waist level. That is not normal length at all. And his feet measure up basically to his forearm, and since his forearm is too short, his feet are too small as well, which means his legs are too small. Everything about him is basically wrong, besides the fact that he looks slightly like a human. Alright, so like I said, people can be very, very interesting to draw. They aren't the easiest, but you can learn how to fix them. So just remember, for torso, it should be pretty long. You should be able to fit two heads to 1.5 heads inside of it. Feet should be as long as the forearm. Hands and feet themselves, on how to draw them, those are some of the hardest things. I have a very hard time drawing good hands. That's why half the time they are closed. Alright, so you have the next topic. The next topic is, well, it's not really a topic, it's just another picture. So, you have this picture here. Now, basically, the big thing wrong with this is how level things are. So you have this table, you're slightly slanted, looking slightly down at the table, right? But yet, you do not see the top of the cup, you do not see the actual top of the hamburger. But one thing that's good with the cup is it's round down here. This should be round down there, but the hamburger is not round. They should be evenly round at the bottom. Same with the fries. The fries, you go to any restaurant that has fries and things kind of like that, they have little, they're kind of round at the bottom. So that isn't right because they're not in the right way. So if you want good drawings, you got to really pay attention to what you are doing and make sure they are all evenly positioned. So the next picture. So like I said, with proportions don't just apply to humans. They apply to a bunch of things. Like you have this drawing. You go, oh, nice bridge, things like that. But this guy is obviously way too big. He would have to be like laying down. So even if he's slouching, his feet would go really about all the way about at least to down here. This level, which is not normal. It doesn't work like that. You can't put your feet through a bridge. So he is too big. But sometimes art works better like that. So it depends on your style. If you want it to work like that, as far as his proportions compared to the rest, that's fine if you want it like that. But I don't really like mine like that. So I'm really messed up on that one. Okay, next. You have things that aren't really obvious in the pictures, just something looks wrong. So with this one, the big thing, there's two things that are wrong with this. One is his legs. If you look at dogs' front legs, they do not go to right here. They don't have 3 bumps on their legs. They don't have knees. This part would come all the way up here. It should be here, dropped off. Same with the leg right here. That's another problem, is it's not even. If you are going to do it like this, you want to do them exactly the same way. Last point for this picture. The feet. Dogs do not have 3 toes. Dogs have 4 toes. So, unless you've seen some crazy dog with 3 toes, tell me in the comments. They should be, I don't know. Normal dogs don't have 3 toes. So, make sure when you're drawing dogs, make 4 toes. Alright, next thing. So, with your drawings, when you are going to put detail, that's a great way you can get away with a lot of things in your drawings. If you put a bunch of small details all over the place. This picture has so much detail and things in it that you normally wouldn't even notice that the stairs are not even. The lines are completely wonky. There are more lines on this side than there are that side. They don't line up. You would not be able to really walk up those. Another part is you have people here, 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 and let's see, up here. They're just kind of sprinkled around and you don't notice them. But that is part of the detail. You got to have little things like that that people don't even really notice that they're seeing. That makes it where you can get away with not straight lines, things like that. If you really look all over this picture, like you got here, and you have the stairs, and here, this building would fall down in real life. It would not work. So, now we have, so a lot of people, including me, go, well, I don't know what to draw. There's nothing to draw right now. I've drawn practically everything I can think of. Well, one way you can work with that is, so I've been drawing a lot of things like this. I like the style. It's pretty. It works. But the big thing is, you're like, well, what do I do with this? I've drawn this a couple times. I have this version, some that I've given to friends and things like that. But you're like, well, now what do I draw? I have drawn everything. But you can use the same style, okay? So I've done this. I've also drawn this. It's pretty much the same style. you just change the centerpiece. Maybe add another rose or something like that. You just change little things up like that, and there you go. You got another thing to draw. You can also do things that you normally wouldn't think of, like pocket watches. You don't necessarily see a bunch of pocket watches, but you have them. Some people have them. I have some. I love pocket watches, but just a bunch of almost random household items that you might find sitting around. You could probably even put a blender in there or something like that. Make it look pretty with some roses if you feel like a rose smoothie. But they don't taste good, trust me. So, that's another thing you can do. But, so if you're wanting to draw something, you don't know what to draw, look at things you've drawn before. Either tweak the style or tweak the drawing, just add a little something else into it. Things like that. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for those who have already subscribed. I really appreciate it.